Okay. I'll hold it up. Thank you, Unity Band. Yes. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing. It is a prosperous day because I just found an earring. This must belong to somebody here. A red earring? It's Chris's, okay. I'm going to put this up here if you find your short one ear. Okay, here we go. And welcome to you that are joining us online. Truly, you light up our world. And if you're with us for the first time, we like to give you an LED light bulb because we are an Earth Care congregation, and you do light up our world, and we like to help light up yours. If you're new online, send me an email, and I'd be happy to ship you off those light bulbs. We do have tremendous prayer support here if you have any concerns or celebrations. Our prayer box is right there behind the sofa. We have self-serve coffee bar, which is open, as well as a snack table, so help yourself at any time. And I do encourage you to consider being a host for a day. You team up with one of the regular kitchen people and just help. It's a wonderful way to be in service, to help with the coffee and the snacks, which are enjoyed by everybody so much. And updates on what's happening, check social media, as well as a little handout on your table. It gives you the list of our activities. We're going to set the tone for today with a song called Unity, written by David Friedman, who wrote a lot of Disney songs.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the David Friedman.
Every prayer is answered. Every prayer is heard. Every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real. There is no one out there, there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me. There's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way. All moving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are
Thinking about that unity, we do have some other new members of our community today. There's 4 new trees out in the backyard that we planted yesterday and 2 more yet to be planted. Yes. So And you know, as we plant these twigs that are about this big, and they're going to grow to be 50 to 100 feet tall. And thinking about, we're planting them not only for our kids and their kids, probably our great-grandkids out there. It's just, there's something about that continuity of life, of being able to give. Somebody's going to be out there one day, they're going to be enjoying those trees, not knowing that, we put them in the ground. Well, our mission is to spiritually awaken to our oneness with God, with each other, and all creation. And this has grown out of a vision of seeing a world powerfully transformed through a growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. We say shared, knowing there's no one right and perfect answer, no one right and perfect path. So we like to start out by affirming together. The enlightenment of the Buddha shines within us. The compassion of the Christ moves through us. The power of Jehovah strengthens and guards us. The presence of Allah surrounds and guides us. Wherever we are, the Tao is, and all is God. I like to pray for our neighbors, and there's a lot going on in the world, isn't there always? First of all, Unity of Hartford, Connecticut, we're holding them in prayers for strength and comfort. They were broken into last week, and then they got that all in, and then, don't you know, 2 days later, they broke in again and started a fire. So being hit twice in 1 week, they're meeting outside right now this morning in prayer with the congregation as they figure out their next steps. So I told them we'd be holding them in our prayers, that we have been very close to their shoes, and we really understand what they're going through. So, we'll just hold them in our hearts. Also, great celebration. They've come up with a malaria vaccine, which will make a huge difference in third world countries. It's out in the testing phase, so we're really excited about that. Oh, comforting victims of gun violence. You know, there's mass shootings, there's individual shootings. It does not matter. There have been so many this week, every week. And we know that it impacts not only those that have lost loved ones or have loved ones that lives have been changed because of gunshot wounds, but the whole community. There's that loss of feeling of safety and just disbelief. So our hearts really expand to hold those with us. And peace in Sudan, that there's some kind of resolution there, that, you know, there's this incredible country, the capital city of Khartoum, this beautiful city, just holding them in our hearts, that sanity and wisdom might reign there. And also gratitude for the new buds that are bursting out all over. I mean, this is life. So let's just take a moment in that silence together. Just take a moment with the depths of our heart, with the wideness of our heart, with the infinite compassion that we have within us to share, to be the strength for those who are open to it, to be the love for those that are ready to receive it, and to be the hope, the light for those who need to see the light in times of darkness. For this truth, for this one presence, for this unity of spirit, we say thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. And we'd like to bless Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing, which is all of us, because we need to keep our cups full. So let us affirm together, God is the love budding life within us, the positive force that seeks full bloom. Our hearts let go of fears and anxieties. We are a true reflection of love and wisdom. We spring forth with thoughts, words, and actions to be a blessing to everyone we meet. And so it is. Allah, Shalom, Amen, Namaste. A little conversation, a little namaste as we honor the divine light in each one of us at the table. Question for you this morning is, what is your nature in the sense of nature? Is there an animal or a plant that you just kind of resonate with? I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You just always get excited when you see this or that. There's just some kind of, probably part of your family, just in a different form. So if you want to share that. Well,
like
it is.
Like a jackass, don't you?
Well, I used to have one of those.
Did you?
As a child, yes, I did.
I was going to be snarky and say, what animal plant speaks to you? All of them?
Well, that's true, but is there one that stands out?
Dog.
Oh, of course,
Because
the
I
dog.
can look in their eyes and I know that they're here to teach us things.
Oh, they're
right?
so compassionate.
Yeah, they teach you about unconditional love, and they teach you about the pain of loss and how to navigate that. And there's more going on than
Oh,
just
there
the
is. if you could picture the energy between us and the animals.
Sometimes when I'm up real early and it's just me and the dogs, we talk. You know.
I-
Should we sing our song?
Well, I like dragonflies.
Oh yeah, you have that a couple pins.
I
right?
do, and I've had a few experiences with them. They bring me these little lessons.
They're so cool.
They are.
I assume you're going to wear them sometime soon, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
probably if I find them. They go, dragonflies go away. Yeah, let's sing
Okay,
our
let's
song,
sing
come
the
back
song.
together here.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Greg, and everybody else. Good morning. I'm Chris Janson, your platform assistant for today. Yesterday's daily word for Earth Day was Earth Blessing, inspired by words found in Deuteronomy. But the land that you are crossing over to occupy is a land of hills and valleys, watered by rain from the sky, a land that your God looks after. We are grateful for the planet Earth, our home. Each time we behold the glory of our divine source reflected in its wonders. Scripture tells us God's first commandment was dominion over the earth and its creatures. Dominion grants humankind the authority to use Earth's resources to create a more abundant life and gives each person the responsibility to help maintain a healthy environment for the future generations to thrive. Hence all those trees you guys planted, we planted. If we are able, we may work with others to plant trees, care for gardens, or help keep a stream or park clean and free from litter. We bless the earth by making thoughtful choices, mindful of how our actions will affect our shared home. Let us affirm together, my thoughts, choices bless the earth. This month, we are focusing on our core value of spiritual awakening. As we spiritually awaken, our values shift to a deeper understanding of what it means to live a life worth living. Our appreciation for the simple things in life grows into a major transformation of our understanding of our interactions with all life on this planet. We strive to awaken to the spirit of divine love through positive relationships and being in service to others as an expression of our spiritual oneness. Let us affirm, we seek to experience and live from a state of conscious oneness with God, each other, and all creation. Our popular series, Courageous Conversations, Talk That Matters, is in full swing. The trifold brochure on your table provides information on the 3 remaining events. This Saturday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Iman Sahol Chandri is presenting an incredible overview of Islam in America. His honest reflections on what it means to be a Muslim in our country today may surprise you, certainly educate you, and ultimately provide you with a deeper appreciation of our neighbors.
Chris, I understand he's going to be leading us in some Islamic chants.
Okay,
Chants too. So
chanting too.
Yeah.
Great. If you are curious to learn more about Islam, join Iman for our Sunday Salt session, where he will provide an easy-to-understand overview of the Islamic faith. SALT is our Sunday adult learning time. SALT is currently meeting in the Lodge meeting room in the building next door, as well as on Zoom. And by next door, we mean right up here? Yep. Not a different building, yeah. Next Sunday is Euchre and Games Day, following our Sunday service. This is a self-organizing event and open to everyone. You can bring potluck snacks, your favorite board game, and invite a friend or two to come along with you. The Lunch Bunch is a social group open to everyone. They meet monthly at a local restaurant. Friday, May 5th at 1 o'clock, we're meeting at the Soup Spoon on Michigan Avenue. It is helpful to contact Nancy Clater or the church office so we can reserve enough seats. But if you become free at the last minute, drop-ins are always welcome. There are pamphlets for May activities on the tables, as well as information on our website about all our upcoming events, including our weekly Zoom classes. Take one with you as an easy reference for our upcoming events. Ooh, now I get to my favorite part. And I always seem to get to introduce you, Elizabeth, but it's now my pleasure to welcome Elizabeth Kunc to share some special music with us. Woo!
In the quiet, love is reaching. It's yours to hold. Be still and know that even when you're lost and lonely and hope is gone, you're not alone. Far beyond our understanding, there's a hand that leads. If you believe through the darkness, there's a light. Remember, God loves you. God loves us.
Ah. Oh, what a gentle touch to the heart. Thank you. That's just I've never heard that song before. Thank you. Thank you. Well, yesterday was Earth Day, and I had my Earth t-shirt on. I love Earth. And I thought, well, how did it all start? Because it's been going on for over 50 years now. And the first one was called actually a teach-in, but how did they get to that point of doing that? Well, back in the 60s, you may remember, some of us may remember, some of us are too young for that. During the Vietnam War whole thing, there was an awareness that just started coming up in society. And in 1962, Rachel Carson wrote Silent Spring, which really brought up about the DDT and pesticides getting into our water system. Before then, it was like silos. Here's a coal mine, here's a stream, here's the stuff we put on our gardens. Like they're all separate, that they don't interact, right? And this started this awakening process. And then it wasn't until 1967 we had the first Clean Air Act. I was in California in the early 70s, and boy, was it needed. The smog was becoming an issue. And also, the first time they published an endangered species list, which included the bald eagle. And I remember getting that to my attention back then, because the bald eagle, that's our national symbol, right? So there was this thing that was growing, but what finally brought it to this teach-in in April of 1970, they had a plan it in 69. Two things happened, I think, that brought it to a forehead. This is Santa Barbara, oil spill, January 1969. If you've been to Santa Barbara, it's an incredibly beautiful area, and here it was all filled with oil. And then just down the road from us, the Cayuga River outside of Cleveland caught on fire. The river doesn't actually burn, it's the debris on top of it, and this is not actually a picture of the fire in 1969. Nobody thought to take a picture of it. This was one of the 6 fires they had before then. So you can feel the thing going. Remember, we didn't have social media back then, but there was a movement starting, and so they came up with this idea of having a teach-in to educate people what it is that we're doing to this planet on which we live, in which we can't move off of. This is it, folks. So I think the first idea in the teach-in was the idea that we are abusing our planet. We thought of the planet as being so big. What can we do to it? Little us, what could we possibly be doing to something that is so gigantic, that's had dinosaurs and ice ages and all this stuff? And here we come in. You think about acres and acres of land that we've depleted by not treating it right, gallons of waters that we have polluted, all kinds of things that we've put in there, resources that we've overtaxed. We just keep taking and taking and taking. And to change consciousness is not, it can be an overnight thing, but to get all of human consciousness to shift is a long, long game. It's a marathon run. So we keep plugging at it and keep plugging at it and keep plugging at it. So I'm thinking about that first lesson, that we're abusing the earth. And it takes me back to the Bible and the idea of the ark. And the idea of an ark, metaphysically, it's a holy place, a sanctuary, a vessel for preservation, just like our heart would be an ark for the preservation of that, knowing that God is love and that we are part of that love. And I thought about in the story of Noah's Ark, that this was really the idea of preserving wisdom, about bringing 2 of everything together around how do you preserve life? How do you keep things going even when disaster happens? So there's a lot of wisdom in the physical ark we think of when we hear the story, the allegory of Noah. And then there's the ark that the Hebrews carried with them every place. It was a beautifully carved thing, and it held the written wisdom of their peoples, those stories and like that. Again, this holy vessel. And then there's the life-saving wisdom. When Moses was born, they were killing all the young boys, so his mother made a little ark out of reeds and put him in the water. It was a life-saving ark that they put him in. Earth is an ark, too. We think of the wisdom of the ark. Marshall McLuhan, who we haven't heard of for a long time, but he said there are no passengers on Spaceship Earth, we are all crew. Get it? We got to work it. This is back in the 60s or 70s he came up with that line, even before we did T-shirts with those things on them. So George Washington Carver, a long, long time ago, said, I like to think of nature as an unlimited broadcasting station through which God speaks to us every hour if we only tune in. 24/7 broadcasting, all through nature. I mean, it's always out there talking to us, having messages for us. The Word, the divine Word, whispering to us, shouting to us. But we get a little bit of static in our reception. It's like when we just had AM radio and you'd go through spots of town and, scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. Think about the corrosion, the dirt, all the pollution. And, we're so lucky to live in Michigan because we're at the top of the water chain. It all flows downhill. By the time we get to Mexico, down to the equator, every bit of yuck that we've put in there, just flows downhill with it, and including the additives, the medicine that we pour out into water. Anyway, enough of that. So if you think about it, this is a closed system on the earth, and everything we eat, everything we drink, everything we breathe is recycled from among us. We're breathing and drinking the same water Jesus drank, Genghis Khan drank, Mother Teresa. It's all the same. And so whatever we do, it's not a silo. It's not just us in our little home, in our little workplace, wherever that might be. What we do has this ramification that stays within this ecosystem in which we have our life, if you will. George Carlin, who was brilliant, rewrote the American hymn, "Oh, beautiful for smoggy skies, insecticided grain. For strip-mined mountains' majesty above the asphalt plain. America, America, man sheds his waste on thee and hides thy pines with billboard signs from sea to oily sea." Whoa! Good old George, he was always edgy, and boy was he's just dead on. He doesn't take no prisoners, right? So as I take that beautiful insight from that comic, a social justice comic, if you will, I go back to different stories in the Bible, and I was thinking about Moses when he's kind of searching in life, and he's kind of segmented his life. There was the Egyptian part of his life, and now he's with the Hebrews, and up in the mountains being a shepherd. And when he sees, he was born by being drawn out of water, which means out of water metaphysically can mean out of negativity can come something wonderful and positive, that we can clean the waters, that emotional, that kind of fluid being. When you think of water, what can come out of water? And Moses in his journeys, when he sees this burning bush, he says, take off your shoes. He hears his voice in his heart, because where you're standing is holy ground. And as we grow in our awakening, spiritually, there is no place we can stand that is not holy ground. This incredible planet has been gifted to us to experience and to live and to share and to have dominion over, which to me is having responsibility for in all that we do. The wisdom of the ark to me, as we get into the work of the metaphysics, is that there are messages for us everywhere. We think of messages coming from books or broadcasts, but if you think there's this continent, we're so linear in our thinking as humans. We think of point A, point B, point C, but we're really in this multidimensional presence, whether we want to call it God or Allah or divine wisdom or love, that is always, that's all that it is message. It's wisdom. Just there for us to partake of, to learn from, to grow to grow in our own spiritual nature. There's a wonderful principle right in the early part of the Bible, the Sabbath principle. Take a rest, take a break. Yeah. We do our work, but then we need to take a break. And that is earth talking to us. Give me a rest. I can recreate myself so many ways, from volcanoes and landslides and shifting and all this stuff, but I need a break. And we're just learning this about crop rotation, about where we take out all the plants and put factories or homes, thinking that we are more important than this planet which we're in. Sometimes we just need to take a break for consumption. I can find in myself, sometimes I just want to go shopping to see what I didn't know I needed. I mean, it's one thing to go out shopping because you need something, but to want to go to see what you might need. Yeah, I mean, think about that. Consume, consume, consume. And then every time we consume, there's waste. The packaging, oh, don't even get me started on that. I have learned to leave them behind at the store. Maybe it'll get back up the food chain. And our lawn on steroids. You know, it was World War II, and I probably said this before, but Monsanto had a whole bunch of war weapon chemicals left, and so they put out a marketing thing that we needed to have these monoculture lawns that all had the same kind of grass, and this is what it looked like to be successful, to have a home that you love, to have this monoculture grass out front. And that's why I love this new movement that started No Mow May, that we understand that all the stuff that grows, there's a season, and there is pollen and buds that feed all these insects, the bees and all this, that are primed in April and May. When we go out there and need to have this manicured lawn, we had taken away all that for these creatures that share this planet with us. And I know here we're looking at what we can do, because there are some Delhi restrictions that we have to have certain things mowed during the lawn, but on the lawn near the road, because, oh my God, people should see something other than green lawn, right? So we're checking to see how far we can go with that. There's a height limitation. But, you know, the bees and stuff are really important. Nature is so wise. Out at the side here, you know, dandelions are coming up. I don't know where they came from, because this was a purely perfectly manicured golf course, like not too long ago. But they have come back, and down the hillside on the other side of the lodge, there's this beautiful patch of dandelions that have come up. And I was looking at it Saturday. And, you know, and looking at it, yellow is our solar plexus, it's wisdom, right? I go, oh yeah, so there's got to be some wisdom there, right? And then a really fun question to ask yourself when you find yourself relating to something in nature is, what song would I sing to it? What song would I sing to dandelions? And, you know, back when I used to be in uniforms, it came out with a women's line of work uniforms, of the work pants, because before then women used to have to wear men's pants and belted, or I mean, it was just, anyway. And when I was doing the women's line, we did a little video to introduce this concept to people, because in the 70s, you know, women doing blue-collar work, it ain't happening, right? And we used Helen Reddy's, I am woman, hear me roar, with numbers too big to ignore, right? And I go, that's the song for the dandelions. And think about it. I am woman, hear me roar, numbers too big to ignore. And then, after I got back in here, I thought, dandelion, hear me roar. I mean, not only is there wisdom there, there's humor too. You know, sacred wisdom does not have to be dry and painful. I really think the nature of love is fun, you know, because, oh yeah, there's just that different kind of energy where we get to laugh and chuckle and see the humor of all things. But I think everything in nature, is there to give us a message that we are ready to receive at that time. Somebody else could look at the dandelion, come up with a different song, or get a different message, because that's what they need at that moment. So lesson 2 in the teach-in is to be open to receive this truth that's always being presented to us. You know, it's a buffet that we only need to go up to. It's been said that a man walks in the woods for the love of them half of each day, and he's in danger of being called a loafer. But if he spends his days as a speculator, shearing off those woods and making the earth bald before her time, he is deemed an industrious and enterprising citizen. Henry Thoreau, back in the 1800s. Wow, something happens with our values, right? I mean, get that if we just take that time to be in nature, to go out and sit under a tree, to be in the woods, just because it's really nice to do that somebody might think we might think we're lazy, because we're told we got to be doing, you know, and producing and doing those things. Charles Fillmore, in his book Christian Healing, he said, intelligence is inherent in every form, animate or inanimate. I love that he said animate and inanimate, because I've always felt rocks were alive. There's something, I mean, I bet you there's not one person here that hasn't collected rocks at some point in their life and still happens to see one and you pick it up, kind of put it in your pocket, because I like that rock. I don't know why I like that rock. He says, even rocks and all minerals have life. We should be speaking words of truth to everything. not only to humankind, but to the mineral, vegetable, and animal kingdoms. Wow, we do prayers for our loved ones, for our neighbors, but to think about doing prayers for the rocks, for the trees, for the gardens that are going in, for the places that are harvesting right now, just really, holding that whole thing in our consciousness as our neighbors, not siloed out as something different. Eckhart Tolle, more recently, in our lifetime, says, everything that exists has being, has God essence, has some degree of consciousness. See, there has to be a wisdom even in rocks for a rock to know to be a rock. Think about it. There's energy vibrating that comes into manifestation, into form. If there wasn't an intelligence that told it how to be a rock, how would it be a rock? It would just still be out there vibrating. This is quantum physics 101. Everything is alive. The sun, the earth, plants, animals, humans, all are expressions of consciousness manifesting as form. Beautiful pink tablecloth, salmon-colored tablecloth, whatever color you want to call it. Think about it. The clothes that we wear, there's an intelligence in there that vibrates it together to be what it is. We understand, too, that in nature there's a fruitfulness principle. It's not about destroying, it's about within all life is that ability to procreate more life. Even rocks have a life cycle. It's a much longer one than the ones we're used to seeing, but there is a cycle there with that too. And even in the Bible it says, be fruitful and multiply. We understand this is the nature of life. That we need to support the life force that is forever expanding, like our universe is forever expanding, getting larger. So Kahlil Gibran, who was probably one of the most renowned environmentalist poets of last century. You ever think of Kahlil Gibran as environmentalist poet? He wrote this beautiful, what I see as a grace. He says, when you crush an apple with your teeth, say to it in your heart, your seeds shall live in my body, and the buds of your tomorrow shall blossom in my heart, and your fragrance shall be my breath, and together we will rejoice through all seasons. Isn't that a beautiful way to eat an apple? Wow. I mean, that apple becomes like an ark, a sacred vessel. So it's about making these conscious connections between what we do, where we live, all these different life forms. And we know about conservation, and a lot of us have done a lot of things to conserve, we recycle and stuff like that. But what we really need to do is become more creative. So the difference between conservation and creativity, conservation is just less bad. We're still doing the harmful things. Creativity is coming up with a new way of doing things that do not do that harm. Like the difference between reducing our use of oil to going to solar. You see, solar is a creative way to be kinder to our planet, and really kinder is about being more in harmony with our planet, right? More in harmony, that we're not fighting it, we're not battling uphill, we're trying to find the flow of life and earth and all that. Lesson 3 in the teach-in, I would think, would be celebrate diversity. Life is amazingly diverse. Myrtle Fillmore, as a child, they used to do a lot of church outside. They'd sit on the hillside, you'd bring your picnic lunch. We should probably try that here one day. And as she's out there, she would never pay attention to what they were preaching, but she looked at nature around her. And she was this curious little child. She said, what makes a man and a worm a worm? I never thought of that when I was 9. This is a man, this is a worm. I didn't think, why? Why did this happen? And she got it that there's intelligence in everything. Every cell of our body, every cell of life, there's this intelligence that helps it know what it is. There's no successful monoculture. Everything is this mixture of diversity because it's this individuated consciousness in all things. And Fillmore wrote that our consciousness is a real environment. The outer environment is always in correspondence to the thoughts making up our consciousness. And, as I see the revolution going, the battle going on between those two factions in Sudan, and what is the tie-in with us mowing in May? That we're right? That we can take away the life force for those things that we consider as being, they're bugs, they bug us, right? You see the continuity of consciousness that every time we destroy nature for no even really good reason other than to impress our neighbors or to adhere to city bylaws, is it any different than two factions saying we're the right one to be in charge of this country? It's not. It might be scale of size, the size of a bee or an insect to a human, but it's the same act of destruction, wanton destruction, and this battle, unharmonic beingness. Gilhoga Brown went on to say that in one atom are found all the elements of the earth. In one motion of the mind are all the motions of all the laws of existence. Wow, one motion of the mind. In one drop of water are the secrets of all the endless oceans. I mean, getting this continuity, no silos. And in one aspect, you are found all the aspects of existence. All of it. I mean, sometimes I talk about we're made of the same stuff as stars. We're also made of the same stuff as worms. You know? Same stuff as dirt, the same stuff as clouds. There is a oneness. These are not silos. There is a continuity of being. So our role on the ark, Hafiz, a wonderful poet from the Far East, says, we are house-sitting for God. We share the royal duties, watering each day a favorite potted plant, this earth. Wow. We're all house-sitting for God. So, little God-casting as opposed to broadcasting wisdom from the ark. George Burns said, I remember when sex was dirty and earth was clean. So, here's ark living. Ark, abolish abuse, give nature a rest, right? Reception, tune in and bless with creativity of moving forward, better ways of doing things. And K, kindness to all, promoting diversity, embracing instead of eradicating whatever is different from us. And with that, we are going to improve our reception by going into a time of meditation. We have a song, Karen Drucker's, called I Am Healed. And then we're going to go, a little bit of the meditation is going to be a little open-eyed, because I want to give you something to focus on. You got it. It's all yours.
Thank you.
Up from my feet, I call the healing power. Up from my feet, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from my feet, I know that I am healed. In through my hands, I call the healing power. In through my hands, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from my feet, I know that I am healed. Down from my head, I call the healing power. Down from my head, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from my feet, I know that I am healed. Are we done there?
So we've kind of started the process of this connection from our feet to our hands to our head. This picture was taken in 1990 on Valentine's Day from a spaceship that was launched in 1977. 13 years have been traveling fast away from the Earth. And that pale blue dot is the first shot that we had of what we might look like, people from outside of our galaxy coming in. That's what the Earth looks like if we were to be able to stand 3.6 billion miles from where we stand right now. If you want a little closer look, I try to blow it up a little bit. On that pale blue dot, is where all our drama happens. It's where all our laughter happens. It's where all our fighting happens. It's where all our loving happens. As we sit here today, our earth may seem very big, but when we get into that perspective that we are just part of this magnificent, infinite universe, this one power and presence of which we are a part, that we are part of every single bit of that 3.6 billion miles from where this photo was taken, is to allow us to put things into perspective. Allow us to realize the infinitesimalness, the tininess of ourselves, at the same time, the largeness of ourselves, that we are a part of that infinite with our thoughts, our words, and our actions. Now I'm going to invite you to close your eyes for a moment and allow yourself to settle in to the scope of that perspective, from the intimate here and now in this place at this time, to that which is beyond boundaries, beyond our comprehension, beyond our imagination, the fullness of it all. And consider what we are broadcasting with our thoughts, with our emotions, with our intentions, our goals, our dreams, the light ray of the hope that beams from our heart into that infinite wisdom. Let's take a moment now in the silence to be all that we can be. Knowing that the earth cannot be well unless we are well. Knowing that the universe cannot be whole unless we are whole. Let us open ourselves up today for that full healing to the extent that we can absorb it, epitomize it at this point in our life, knowing that we will continue to grow into that idea of oneness. And so it is.
With my spirit and soul, I call the healing power. With my spirit and soul, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from my feet, I know that I am healed. Up from the earth, I call the healing power. Up from the earth, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from my feet, I know that I am healed.
We've received, so it's time to give back.
Back to the earth,
I send the healing power back to the earth.
Back to the earth,
I send it from my heart.
my heart, it's already here. I only need to claim it.
Up from my feet, I know that I am healed.
I know that I am healed.
Thank you. Spiritual practice for the week. Last week talked about try to see if not everything, at least something is as exciting as the first bite of that apple when you're starving. This week, consider doing a grace for a food item. And grace has kind of fallen by the wayside. A few of us still remember to bless it, but to be that conscious, like in the Gehil Gibran poem, to bless that piece of food, whether it be a cow or corn, and for that whole life cycle, know that you are becoming part of that life cycle. So I think it's a really good challenge for us to be that aware. My challenge, my gift right now is to invite Elizabeth back up to take us on home. Oh yeah, before you come, I just want to say next week I'm bringing in a friend of mine, Wendy Watasik-Carr from Canada. She is head of Unity School up there, and she's going to be doing a talk on unity and prosperity. But also she said she knows that Euchre is on, and that's really big here. But she's going to be up in the lodge if you want to talk about some unity history and like that. She'll just be available up there. She would like to hang on. And with that, I get to invite another friend back, Elizabeth.
All of my friends are happy to stay here in this yard day after day, but something inside me has called me away. I don't understand, but I know I can't stay. I'm gonna fly, no one knows where, but I'm gonna fly. I'm lighter than air, 'cause I have felt for the first time I can be myself. No more faces to hide behind, just a smile and a dream that's mine. Even if I am the only one who wants to fly, I'm gonna fly. No one knows where. I'm gonna fly. I'll soar through the air. 'Cause all my life it seems I've waited for the time to start being the person inside of me, unafraid of being me. No more faces to hide behind, just a smile and a dream that's mine. Even if I am the only one who wants to play. If I had my life to live over again, I'd run barefoot, relax a bit more, and I'd talk to more children. I'd learn how they laugh, and I'd teach them how I'd learn to play. I'm gonna fly. No one knows where. I'm gonna fly. I'll soar through the air. 'Cause all my life seems I've waited for the time to start being the person inside of me, unafraid of being me. Even if I am the only one who wants to fly, I'm gonna fly. Whoa.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Woo. Woo. Thank you. This is the time during our Sunday service to acknowledge and celebrate the sacred circle of generosity. We enter the circle by thanking you for your continued generosity of support of unity through many channels, electronically, by mail, and in person. The circle of generosity includes acts of gratitude for these many gifts by sharing of our gifts with others. For the second quarter of 2023, we are splitting a portion of our tithe with House of Promise, a restoration house that serves as a place to guide trafficked women from survivor to overcomer. Greater Lansing Food, and also the Greater Lansing Food Bank, a partner to alleviate hunger one meal at a time, to create a future where everyone has access to nourishing food. Let us take a moment to deeply immerse ourselves in gratitude, acknowledging our intimate connection with God by singing, "God is my source."
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So let's give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need.
The circle of generosity is the sacred exchange of giving and receiving. Even as we have received blessings, we now complete the circle by sharing of our blessings. The gift we give is not a debt we owe, it is the seed we sow. We know and accept that our consistent generosity creates a consciousness of abundance that attracts good to us now. If you are donating in person, you can place your love offering envelope in the glass jar on the center of the table. The ushers will collect them following service. Let's raise our hands, palms open, to symbolically send loving energy to bless our sacred exchange as we affirm together. Divine love through me and blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Praise, give thanks, and am glad. And now let us stand as we are able, as we sing our closing song, I Choose Love.
Before we sing it, though, I gotta say, every single week it looks like it's getting to be a bigger arc.
Yes, good.
It really does. I mean,
All
I see
right.
it get bigger every single
And
week.
it's good to see everybody, too.
Yeah.
And then we'll follow that by affirming our prayer of protection.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace on the planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. We choose The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.